So, since I last talked to you, you've had a little news.
Yep.
Tell me what's going on.
Yeah, so not last Friday, but the Friday before, I committed to play at York College of Pennsylvania.
Cool.
So I'm
Um,
excited for the new opportunity.
yeah. So walk us through, how that happened and um, what that process was like. So let's kind of reset. The last time I talked to you, and I think we decided it was October ish. You were in
Yep,
your high school season. You live in Maryland, so high school soccer's in the fall.
yep,
And last spring, you had made the jump from your hometown club, which is a small town club, to Maryland United to play in the UCNL,
yep,
and with the intent of finding a place to play in college, right?
yep.
Um, and so you hadn't even played any real matches yet for Maryland United yet the last time we talked.
Yeah, yep.
So you're just training with them here and there, and you were like right in the middle of your high school season. So kind of pick it up from there. And I know that you were talking to some schools and thinking about some visits. I think at that point.
hmm
So kind of pick it up from there. How it all came
Okay.
together.
Yeah, so from there in October, I ended up getting like two official visits in, and I scheduled it pretty much in the smack middle of high school. I went up uh, to both those colleges, spent a day up there, spent a day with the team. At one of the colleges, it was a game day, so I went through their whole game day thing, their training, their walkthrough, their meal, hung out with the freshmen, went to their game. Then the other one was just the day before a game. So I was there. I observed the practice, the training session, and then hung out with the freshmen. Also, went and get some food. Kind of hung out in their dorm. So it was pretty cool. It was a good experience. And then from there, I received kind of two offers from both of those schools, pretty much following that. And this was before I even played any games yet for Maryland United. So then from there, we did Capelli Showcase up in Jersey. So that was November 17th, I think. And then I did pretty good. There was a couple looks from there. And then following the weekend, one of the coaches asked to get the film and everything from all three of the games.
Mhm.
And then from there, we did good. From there, though, did, went back up to one of the colleges and did like one of the like admissions tours just to like get another sense of kind of how it is up there, and just if I could see myself going there for the academic side, the room, the board, the food, all the good stuff, all the important stuff.
Right.
And then so when I was up there, I met with the coach again, and he pretty much kind of like walked through just the games that I sent him prior to going up there, and he was just like, "Yeah, like I think you're adapting very well. Like would love for you to come here still, obviously. Like just I look forward to hearing your answer soon and all that good stuff." So then, like a few days later, we went down to ECNL, South Carolina, which was a good experience. Did well again, and then just following ECNL, South Carolina, I kind of just took that step that was like kind of a reality check in a way. I was like I just think with with York, I think all that was just like I think this is just the best option for me, and there's not really another school that I can compare the athletic side, the academic side to York, and just what they have to offer for me personally, and I could see myself just fitting in there
Mhm.
perfectly. And the coach requested an answer in December, early mid December. So I was like, I think this is perfect timing, and I'm ready to just sign my life away.
All right. So thinking to that, you said that it felt like a good fit. That's the one that you went to do the visit with. Was that the game day one?
Yeah. Yep.
Okay. So talk about, a what was your correspondence like leading up to that with the coach, and how did you get on his radar, and then what went down from there?
Okay. Yeah. So initially, this is one of the longer stories that I could probably tell about recruiting, but probably started back in last March or February.
Mm-hmm.
And so he came to our Loudon showcase, which when I was playing on the other smaller team, we were in there, and it was he came to one of the games there and was actually interested in one of the other players on our team. And so he reached out to him following that tournament, good friend of mine and everything. And then April came, and Jeff Cup, big one, obviously.
Mm-hmm.
And so he happened to come to that also, and that's kind of where I got on his radar. I think
Mm-hmm.
he watched, I think, the first game. I think it was just the first game, but I think he was there the majority of it.
Mm-hmm.
And so then he reached out after that with a very kind of personalized personalized kind of thing. He just wanted to get another grasp for what I look for in a school, like how's it going? Just just the check in and just kind of see and get a sense for how I could just fit in initially.
Mm-hmm.
And
Yeah.
then so I responded to that. I was like, thank you so much. And then following that, I did like an unofficial visit when I went up there.
Mm-hmm.
I went up there back in like June or May, right at the beginning of summer. And then he kind of just walked me around, kind of showed me some stuff, showed me the campus, locker rooms, all that good stuff. And then we kind of sat down and talked, like, what are the next steps and everything. And then he wanted York specifically, they like to have both their coaches kind of evaluate you and just, make sure it's a good fit.
Mm-hmm.
And so we had our Potomac, I guess the visit was in May, so the Potomac tournament was then Memorial Day weekend. And so the assistant coach came out and watched, I think two of my games. And so, yeah, kind of after that, we were just texting, reaching out, kind of just staying. I wanted to stay on top of it during the summer and just kind of not be persistent because I'm not trying to bother, but I was trying to just kind of just get a sense for where he is, how he feels for me,
Right.
and obviously I want them to know that I'm interested.
Right.
So my thing during the summer was just trying to get him a text, uh, just every few weeks at least,
Mm-hmm.
because with the USO and everything with PFA that I was playing with,
Mm-hmm.
I was able to kind of give those updates on our games and everything.
Mm-hmm.
Then after that, I think it was, man, I can't even remember now. I think it was like August. I think he reached back out when their schedule came out, and he was like, it was a hey, like, I'd love for you to come for an official visit. Like, just let me know when you're free. And so I went up there, or I was supposed to go up there when the hurricane came.
Mm-hmm.
Their game against Salisbury, I think middle or beginning of October, end of September. And so that obviously got rained out. And so I ended up going up there for their last regular season game against Messiah.
Mm-hmm.
And so it was just, I got up there, I think it was, I don't know, like 11 or 12, and then kind of stayed till 9 or 10, just pretty much going through almost a day,
Mm-hmm.
day of an athlete up there. And
Yeah.
from what I saw, kind of what I was looking for, it kind of checked all my boxes. So,
All right. So kind of talk about what the check marks were in your boxes, right? So from the very beginning, like you're having all these interactions and they're paying attention, and they're, I'm assuming they're kind of saying the right things to you and asking the right questions. And obviously you were giving the right answers because they were talking to you. So, walk through, your evaluation process of them, and what convinced you, along the way to commit to York eventually.
okay. Yeah. So I think, like I said, I think initially that first kind of email that he sent,
Mm-hmm.
like, you'll see a bunch of coaches. I even know other people that kind of, there's like, hey, like, we would like to add you to our recruiting list, and it's kind of just basic. Like we liked what we saw, but York specifically kind of had specific things that they liked about me and how they could see me kind of fitting into their program and their kind of style of play. And then it was just super personal. Their first kind of reach out.
Mm-hmm.
Then following that, it was just they were able to get back in a timely fashion, which kind of kept my interest in, kind of
Mm-hmm.
made me, not only did I not want them to forget me, but like I wouldn't forget them or overlook them.
Right.
Saying that if there was another college that reached out following this showcase, like I don't want them to just be like, okay, this is the new one, and just overlook the previous. So I think that was good, and we're able to. I think that visit early kind of helped implement my process because it made me like that was my first visit, and it was kind of just set the kind of uh just I don't know what you call that thing. Set the bar. There we go. Set the
Yeah.
bar up
Gotcha.
there, and it just seemed like it was kind of what I liked, kind of what I look for. And then following, let's see, during the summer, yeah, it was just a great person, not only to just like kind of get recruited by, but it was just someone that I know I could talk to, and just he
Right.
made me feel comfortable with everything, and kind of not did too much, but did did the most that he could to make me feel like I belonged, and made it feel really personal.
Right. So it's just a good vibe,
Yeah.
so to speak. All right. So you get into the fall, and obviously they start their season. So did the level of communication kind of drop off a little because everyone was so busy?
Uh, I say slightly. I'd say slightly it dropped off because we were kind of reaching back out, back and forth, and just kind of seeing how the high school season's going, and I was just letting them know stuff about the game that I watched, and
Mm-hmm.
everything's kind of getting a grasp for how their season went.
Right.
And then following that, kind of we scheduled the official visit probably a few weeks before.
Mm-hmm.
Following that, that was like when they're really in the crunch of their season. So I'd say for those few weeks, it was kind of sparse, the
Mm-hmm.
communication level. But immediately following kind of that official visit on their last game, kind of after that, it was pretty like regularly, weekly that we would touch base.
Gotcha. Um, so you go on your visit, talk about hanging out with the guys, and what the difference is in like a game day, and just what that whole experience was like.
Yeah. So I mean, what I did first, I got up there and he did. It was like they do like a walkthrough kind of mini session
Mm-hmm.
earlier in the day. The game was I think 6 or 7, and they had a mini session probably about 12.
Mm-hmm.
Just a little walkthrough. It was cool. I was up there with a few other recruits that they had,
Mm-hmm.
so that was super cool. I was kind of just kicking it back with them, just talking, seeing where they're coming from, seeing what they're looking for,
Mm-hmm.
all that stuff, and then we went in the locker room, got to see the locker room, and from there, coach was like, "See you guys later. See you guys at the game later."
Right.
So we went back to their dorms, played some FIFA, and then went and got some food, and came back and watched the women's game.
How's the food?
Oh, really good. There was a little. I don't know if I don't know if I'm gonna be allowed to say this without the freshmen getting in trouble, but it was it was a pizza place right around the corner.
Yeah.
It was like a friendly family kind of pizza place. So
Uh-huh.
we got pizza and wings there, and a lot of pizza and wings. But and so we did that, and then we went to the women's game and kind of just hung out there, talked to them, and then from there they went in, got their treatment in the locker room, kind of just played around a little bit of soccer, tennis, just trying to keep their mind alive without eating it.
Right, right, yeah.
And then went out and then just watched their game. But I'd say the experience overall, the guys were just super welcoming, super kind of just helpful. Like
Mhm.
if I had a question, like I was with one of the business kids and like say a question came up to me just at some time,
Mhm.
I felt comfortable asking him. I felt comfortable that he could answer and just help me out. And even even people after, like even a couple of the freshmen I still like were like talking to when I left campus. So it was just a just great experience to get a vibe for the team, and it's a definitely a good way because on the other visits that I did, like it's a good way to kind of see the
Mhm.
bond and see kind of how not how new guys fit in, but just how everyone can form around one
Mhm.
another and just how they feel about one another. I could feel the bond and the vibe was
Right.
good.
So you went on a couple other visits, or just you went on one or two more visits?
One more
One more.
or
Okay.
two.
Two. And so you, nothing against those other schools, they just didn't quite like fit what you were looking for necessarily. Maybe talk a little bit about, I don't want to like bash on another school, but it's just that it wasn't the right fit for you. And
Yeah, yeah.
it,
I think one of the most important things I feel like that's I definitely overlooked it was major. Like if
Mhm.
they don't have the major that you're interested in, like yes, they could be the best school in the country to go play soccer at, but they don't have your major, so you
Right.
can't aspire a career if you don't get a major in it. So I think that was a big thing when it came down to the other schools. That was like the biggest thing was just they just didn't offer what I wanted, and yes, I could have taken a different route, but it may not have been exactly what I truly wanted or what I
Right.
aspired to.
Right. Um, and you were able to kind of get the sense of the culture of the team pretty closely on a couple different schools, and
Mm-hmm.
um, obviously that influenced your decision as well.
Mm-hmm.
So it's just important, like you were saying, to have those experiences to make the best decision for yourself. So yeah, so now you're committed, right? And so
Yep.
you there. Yeah, can you see me? Hear me?
Yeah, I can see you. You just kind of went out for a sec.
Yeah, it's really weird. I don't know what's going on there. I'll have to edit that out. But anyway, so tell me about what was I going to ask you? Now I lost my train of thought. Shoot. Oh, so just go into like how you're preparing. Oh, I remember now. Hold on. Um, so the last time we talked, or maybe it was like two times ago.
Mm-hmm.
You started writing schools really early.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and you know, talk about how what you thought your college career was going to look like back then in your freshman year, and then how did that change over time,
Mm-hmm.
and are you like completely satisfied with how it turned out?
Okay. Yeah. So I mean, I think freshman year, kind of 10th grade, I think that early high school career, it was it was just always a thought that like the big schools like it's not that difficult. Like I could get recruited to play there. Like that's what everyone kind of thinks. Like
Mhm.
they don't realize, or at least kids do. Like obviously they dream, keep dreaming, all that good stuff. But there's millions of players chasing for the same spots that you are. Like say Clemson has I don't know they're probably gonna get 7 to 10 players this year or something, and 7 to 10 players out of a pool of like a million. Like it's tough. It's tough. So I think early in my career of high school, I was obviously aspiring to go to a big school like that in the ACC or Big Ten, and then I'd say by junior year it kind of hit that like you got to be really gifted, you got to be really talented, and you got to be able to get looked at. And I just think I just think I just wasn't getting the exposure that those kids were, and I wasn't on the same timeline as them. I was kind of already behind in a way,
Right.
and so I think junior year it just really hit that I think my level would be a lower D1, D2, or a high D3, and so I think just that level compared to others. I just felt like that's where I could fit in, and I think when it came to York, York was just they're a good school, they're in a good conference, and the most important thing that I was kind of looking for is for a program that's kind of on the rise.
Hmm.
And so they were ranked top 25 last year. This year, not as good, but still pretty good results. But that was something that I wanted because to have a school on the rise would mean that they're building a culture or their coaches are sticking to the process or they got new coaches and just something's working out. And I
Right.
wanted to be a part of that. And it just it just made me think to myself that that D3 level could be where I can make the most impact and where I know I have a good chance of playing early in my career and not worrying about having to kind of beat 3, 4 other people out in my position for every year of college. Because personally, like I'm not interested in kind of going to sit for 4 years. Like I understand you gotta win, you gotta compete, and I'm not against that. I just want to go somewhere where I can go have fun and compete kind of early in my career and just I just know there's a good opening for me and kind of what I can bring to a team. So I feel like York had
Yeah.
all those things. So
Right. So in other words, you came to the conclusion that this is obviously the right spot for you. Um,
yep.
what were the conversations with the coach like? Were you asking those questions about like where he saw you fitting in and um, you know how you fit in with his roster and the personnel that he had and was bringing in and where he saw your career going? Were you having those kinds of conversations?
hmm Yeah. So the kind of first encounter I had at that meeting, up on the unofficial visit, it was just me, the coach, and I think my mom was there. And so we were just talking. Some questions were coming. You know how moms are. They kind of just got some questions just coming out of nowhere.
Yeah,
So
they're
just
good
something
questions.
exactly.
Yeah.
But I just thought so I think it's just a good question to just ask. Like I don't think there's anything wrong with it. I think it's a respectable thing to ask. I was just like, what do you see me doing my freshman sophomore year here? Like how do you see my role?
Hmm.
And so he kind of he kind of clapped back and was just like, we're already trying to bring in a few defenders in this class and want it to be kind of a smaller class and just a really kind of overall good class that can kind of carry us through the next 3, 4 years.
Hmm.
And so he just kind of not said what I wanted to hear, but because I mean like college coach can't guarantee you to play
Right.
any. Like you could sit the bench for all 4 years, which it happens. But he just kind of gave me the hope and gave me kind of the keys that he was kind of just giving off was I think you have a very good chance of competing for one of the starting spots freshman, sophomore year, junior year. Like I can see you coming in and making an impact because I understand your level of play, your maturity, your kind of just characteristics of you. And I think
Hmm.
that it could just give us a very good chance of winning games. And I could see you playing. So it just made me confident, made me hopeful that when I go there, it'll give me kind of that feel and inspiration, kind of to go forward and just do what I love doing.
Um, so you looked at the roster and everything and like got a
hmm
sense of who was there and what ages they were and that sort of thing. What kind of questions your mom asked? Do you remember?
I don't know. It was just like, what's the food like?
Yeah.
Kind of
Yeah.
basic questions like that. And then she would say some things just like, just like, where could my son like play if he didn't play center back? Just like some random questions that were kind of just I don't
Hmm.
know, they were just flowing off her tongue. But I was just sitting there and it was just funny because he was able to kind of provide. an answer for everything, which also kind of helped when it came down to making the decision. Was that he had
Yeah.
the answers and they were good answers. So.
Right. And do you think I've heard this brought up here on other guests I've had on, like
Hmm.
that coach is definitely observing the way you and your mom interacted, like were you being
Hmm.
respectful and all that stuff. So it's good that your mom was there and just kind of proved that you have good character and that you'll be a good part and a contributor off the field as well for his
Hmm.
culture. Um, yeah. All right. So how do you see yourself preparing yourself? Well, let's back up. What do you think the difference is between high school and college soccer? Soccer you're playing now and the soccer you're going to be playing in July, August.
Yeah, I think so. I think personally, the ECNL level that I'm at right now, the ECNL showcases and the ECNL regular season games we're in right now, I'd say they're I'd say they're just below kind of what I prepare to play in for
Mm-hmm.
college. And I think the actual level of play, the kind of tactics are very similar.
Mm-hmm.
But I think college just has that whole nother uh kind of just physical aspect. People are faster, people are stronger, people are bigger. So I
Right.
think I think that's the like biggest difference that I could point out. And obviously
Mm-hmm.
just everyone, I think the level of play is so close. Like the person that you could be starting over, the person you could be under is like just marginally better at one specific thing. So I
Yep.
think when it comes to that, I think those two things are definitely the biggest difference, the physical and just difference in talent across the whole roster.
Right. Yeah. So what do you think? What kind of training are you going to do to prepare yourself for that? Obviously you're going to have to be, since everybody's faster and stronger, you're going to have to be technically better.
Hmm.
You're going to have to keep sharpening your tactical acumen. So what kind of stuff are you going to do um, between, it's going to come quick,
I
8 months
know.
or whatever. So what are you thinking you're going to have to do to prepare?
I think just I know I said this last time, but I think my mindset going in just has to be open and just ready for competition, ready because the first day you get in, like preseason starts, like
Mhm.
you're getting in shape and just all those things. And I think that leads me to my next point. The other thing that I want to focus on from now until then is just staying in shape, like staying in. There's a difference between staying in shape and staying in like soccer shape.
Right.
So I want to
Right.
I want to get in that soccer shape and kind of just stay there, so I don't have to worry about wasting time when I get there to
Mhm.
either like adjust my nutrition or adjust my stamina, just things that I can prepare myself for that would just give me the best chance to come in and make a good impact on the program early. And
Right.
then I think the last part is just obviously the technical stuff. I think that's kind of implied. Like those are the things that you just need to focus on the small details consistently, kind of
Mhm.
several times a week, and then just get in the gym. Just get in the gym and just not getting big like a bodybuilder, but just getting, you know, gaining muscle in the upper body, lower body, kind of to help prevent injuries, and then
Yeah.
to just be able to just compete with the big 22, 23-year-old players that I could possibly be playing against in college.
Yeah. Yeah. There's a huge difference between the guys who come in that first part of their freshman year and when they leave their senior years. They grow up a
Yeah.
lot in those 4 years.
Oh
So
my gosh.
yeah, they're grown men at that point. So
Yeah.
it was funny. I had two women on. One plays at South Carolina, and then
Hmm.
one is at Northeastern. But she played Georgetown in her undergrad. But they were talking about like
Hmm.
their first training sessions at those schools, and it was just like I didn't realize I had to kick the ball so hard. It's just like little differences like that that
Yeah.
you just all of a sudden it's just you're with people who are very good and very strong and physical and that sort of thing. So yeah, I mean, uh, you're headed in the right direction, I'm sure. So yeah,
Yeah. It's gonna
um,
be it's gonna be different, but I'm looking forward to it.
yeah. I mean, you seem to have the right mindset. Every time I talk to you, thinking about
Hmm.
working. And it's how great is it to know that like all that work is paid off. The
Yeah.
sacrifices you've made have paid off, and you get to keep working at it. For
Hmm.
4 more years.
Yeah.
So
I feel like it
yeah, it's
still
cool.
hasn't like yeah, I feel like it still hasn't kicked in too, because like we haven't had a showcase yet since I've committed. So I think that first showcase when people are kind of all over the place, like colleges are here, like stuff like that. I think it's gonna be kind of relaxing to just
Yeah,
not worry about kind of trying to impress colleges. Like obviously I want to do good, like play good, but
right.
I don't have to worry about like this is life or death. Like this is me playing in college or not. So it's
Yeah,
just nice to take that weight off my back.
yeah. Probably play better now. You'd be all chill about it. Um, yeah, cool. What else? Got anything else?
Uh, uh, I think you covered most of it.
Okay, cool. Um, well, man, once again, congratulations, and that's I'm so happy for you, and I know that you're going to go on and do great things. I can't wait to check in with you again and
Mhm.
see how maybe we check in the spring and see how things are going, and then sometime right before the season or something like
All
that.
right. Yep. Sounds good. Thank you. Thank you for having me on.
No, thank you. Hold on a second.